Welcome back to Pat Stats. Welcome back to our Out of the Park baseball series, playing as the New York Mets. This is the third part of the series. Today is April 3rd, 2025. We are 6 games into the season. It's not going too well so far, only 1-5, but again, we're only a week in. I expect us to turn it around in a pretty big way in this episode. The goal to start, we'll see how much time we end up using, but I want to get through at least April. I think that's a reasonable goal to get through 1 month of baseball and then see where we're at and then leave the month of May for next episode. A couple of things we're going to try to do as we continue with this save is just some more 40-man roster cleanup. We haven't really made too many moves yet. And not expecting to make too many, but I do just want to make sure we are, using our 40-man roster to the best of our ability, creating as much depth as possible, and making sure everything there is in a good spot. I'm also going to go through some minor league injuries quickly. Actually, that's going to be first. Some players that I did not go through in either of the last 2 episodes. And, of course, we're going to continue to monitor the waiver wire and free agent market, as well as, most importantly, playing the game. So let's get into it. I realized I did not go through some of the minor league injuries that have occurred. I only went to the major league guys, but we have some interesting players currently on the injured list in the minor leagues. I'm only going to go through a couple. Albert Alzolay is a player the Mets signed this offseason to a minor league deal. He's rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. He's got some decent stuff, a nice fastball and slider to go along with a changeup and cutter. Might be a starter. If not, could be a decent reliever out of options, but could be a piece next year if we need. Bryce Montes de Oca, who has unbelievable stuff, slider, sinker, and cutter, all at least 70 overall. No control, though. He is also rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. Will have options. Definitely will be a big piece for us in the future. Not this year, though, unfortunately. I guess 2 other guys, or maybe 3 other guys. JT Schwartz is kind of a prospect in a way. 40 overall, 45 potential. Kind of like a corner guy. Good at first base. Average at third and left. It's going to put the ball in play, has a decent eye, not too much power. He could be a depth piece if we so need. The big guy who I didn't realize we didn't go through is Drew Gilbert. Not exactly a huge prospect in this game, only a 45 overall and a 45 potential right now. So he is, I guess you could say, major league ready once he rehabs from this strained hamstring in 3 weeks. Could play center field, 55 overall. I like that. Has the ability to be a balanced hitter if he, I guess, develops a little bit more power and eye. Definitely will be a nice piece for us at some point. Left-handed bat as well. I could see him making his way onto our major league team definitely this year. And finally, I want to look at Calvin Ziegler, a prospect the Mets have. He also is recovering from Tommy John, even though he will be back this year, pitching in the minor leagues. Has 3 nice pitches: fastball, curveball, and splitter. May not be a starter. It may have to be a reliever, especially with that control that he is lacking, but a nice little prospect nonetheless. So I just wanted to go through that quickly before we got back into the games. Like I said before, I want to continue just to make sure our 40-man roster is in the best spot possible. We only have 37, so we do have some open spots, but there are some players that I went through in episode 1 that I said were really going to be non-factors. For example, Chris Williams, maybe even Luke Ritter. I'm not going to get rid of them now, but if I have to, I won't mind doing so. All right, so I think it's time to get back into the games. Again, we are 1-5 to start the season, going into the off day before our home opener against the Blue Jays. Hopefully we can pick up the slack a little bit as we wait for the game to process. AJ Minter, that is good. He's eligible to come off the IL. I'll probably give him a couple of rehab starts, and then we'll figure out a corresponding move. Let's say at the start of the next road trip when we go to Sacramento. We'll give him a week of rehab. One thing I want to at least just point out as a goal to do as far as checking the waiver wire goes, I just think the easiest way to do it is going to be at the start of every series. We can just do that. We actually have some interesting players on waivers right now. Enrique Hernandez and Andrew McCutcheon are some veterans making money. We're not going to look at that, but Miguel Vargas, for some reason, is on waivers, and I mean, options, but this is a fantastic hitter. Good power, very good eye, good to put the ball in play. Definitely should not be a guy on waivers. I highly doubt if I would have put in a claim, we would be able to get him. I'd think that someone else would, higher in priority, would get him before us. I could try putting in a claim, and we can see what happens. But yeah, Miguel Vargas possibly will be a New York Met. We'll see. I actually want to bookmark this page just so we can easily get to it. There we go. All right. So let's play the game today. We are playing the Blue Jays. We have David Peterson on the mound going up against Bowden Francis. And let's see what happens. So not off to a great start on offense this year. Let's see here. A run-scoring double by Andres Jimenez in the 7th. We only had 4 hits. 2 of them came from Pete Alonso. Pearson pitched well. 5 2/3 innings, 1 run. Jose Buda up a little bit on Austin Warren, 2 1/3 scoreless. So our uneven start continues, unfortunately, down to 1-6 on the season. Now today we have Griffin Canning going up against Chris Bassett. And we win 2-1. So we get back in the win column. We get a message saying that Paul Blackburn is making good progress. He'll be about 100% in 1 week. This is 3 days ahead of schedule. Paul Blackburn again, kind of a kitchen sink guy. Nothing really that stands out about him. If we have a need in the rotation, he will join it. If not, I guess the bullpen's making $4 million. Not going to want to DFA him immediately, but these are not ratings I'm particularly looking forward to seeing in action. The game, we got to run the first inning, and the other run was a Luis Torrens solo home run. Our bullpen was able to shut it down after Griffin Canning started with 5 2/3 innings of 1-run ball. Stanek, Nunez, and Diaz did the rest of the work. One thing down here, it looks like Jose Siri was injured, being hit by the pitch day-to-day with a knee contusion for 2 weeks. It only really influences his running. I don't think this is worth going on the IL over. Hopefully he can just monitor that and, play through it a little bit. So we look to win the rubber game of this 3-game series against the Blue Jays. We have Tyler McGill on the mound, looking for a bounce-back outing after the last start, and we lose 4-2. And we get Miguel Vargas on waivers. And this is very interesting. Honestly, I did not expect it. I did not expect Miguel Vargas to get to us on waivers. And so we might have to put him on the team at some point. I'm not going to say exactly there's a spot for him right now. His ratings in the infield really are not anything great. He is probably a DH at the end of the day. He kind of is just another Vientos. It's not really worth having 2 of them on the roster. And again, I kind of feel like that might have been a layup waiver wire player. Again, not really realistic to have that good of a player on the waiver wire. And I keep debating on whether or not to, take advantage of those layups. I still have not signed that one starting pitcher who was a free agent who was pretty good. I might just put Miguel Vargas back on waivers, and if he's claimed, we can just say goodbye. And if he's not, we can just send him to the minors for the meantime. Or we can see what some teams are willing to offer for Miguel Vargas, I guess. We'll see if it's anything good. Again, kind of would feel guilty about making a waiver wire claim and all of a sudden trading him for a big name or someone of value. So let's just see what some teams are willing to throw out there for Miguel Vargas. All right. So let's see what we got. Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly is going to be on an expensive contract. Kyle Nelson, they have, is a lefty reliever. Nothing really going on here. Joe Jimenez is out for the year, though is a good pitcher. Let's scroll down a little bit. White Sox. Greg Jones, is he anything interesting? Good defensively, but not a hitter whatsoever. Jordan Wicks is a starting pitcher. 4 decent pitches. Lefty. Has options. I wouldn't mind possibly acquiring a guy like that. Just again, as depth, our pitching depth is not great at the moment, I would say. Sam Hentges, a nasty left-handed reliever, but is out for the year with shoulder surgery. Probably not going to do that, even though I do really like those ratings. All these Royals guys are making a lot of money. Same with Angels, Dodgers, and Brewers. You can kind of see what kind of offers these teams are giving. Jeffrey Springs, he's also making a lot of money. Did not realize that. So no, that's a no on Springs. Anyone else? Alex Call, who we actually tried to acquire earlier in a couple episodes ago. And I'd rather honestly have a guy like Alex Call on the team than Miguel Vargas. Just defensively, there's a better fit. So I'm probably going to try to execute one of these trades. I guess we'll offer both and see what the teams say. They might want more in return, in which case I probably wouldn't be willing to make the trade. But if they don't, then we'll see what happens. Okay, so we lose the series to the Blue Jays, 2-7 on the year. Now we play the Marlins with Max Kranick on the mound. Keep in mind, AJ Minter we will have back next series. Clay Holmes still has 6 days left on the injured list. Waiver wire. Let's see if there's anyone interesting. Matt Bowman. Nothing going on here. Yoendris Gomez. A player out of options. And Forrest Whitley, who has good stuff out of options. However, we will pass on these guys for now and simulate the day. Also waiting back to here on these trades. We win 5-4, so that's good. It looks like we could execute either of these trades. The players that both teams want us to add don't appear to be any decent prospects, actually. The Nationals want more for Call than the Cubs do for Wicks. So I think I'm going to go ahead and execute one of these trades. These guys are all non-prospects. I mean, this guy is horrible. So let's add him to the trade and execute our first trade. Miguel Vargas and Julian Hernandez for Jordan Wicks, who will serve as some pitching depth. So he goes to he will, I guess, start in the minors and might actually be called up at some point soon. Let's see how Kranick did. He is the one I'm kind of iffy on. Again, we have Holmes coming back anyway. He pitched well, 6 in the 3rd innings, 2 runs. Brazoban got touched up a bit. Nunez and Diaz, though, with the hold and save. Alonso had a 2-run double. Nimrod 2 hits. Looks like we had 9 hits total. Good day overall. We win the first game of this series. So let's just put Wicks on the 40-man and send him to AAA for now. All right, let's simulate another day. We lose 5-1. So another uneven beginning for our offense. Only 6 hits. Alonso had 2 of them. Senga gave length again, but this time allowed 4 runs. Warren a run in an inning in 2/3, and Budo a scoreless 9th. We'll have another rubber match here as we get the alert for the trade going through. The rubber match is David Peterson against Edward Cabrera. Would like to at least win a series for the first time this year. Hopefully we can do that here. And we don't. A horrible performance by the team, losing 9-1. The pitching was bad. Peterson 5 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Cabrera 2 2/3 scoreless. Stanek allowed 4 runs, only 1 earned. So someone made quite the costly error. See if we can find that. Does it say? We made 5 errors. Holy cow. Peterson, Vientos, Lindor, Alonso, and Terrens. Woof. So a 3-9 start for the 2025 New York Mets. Not ideal at all. But hopefully we have some reinforcements coming back soon, specifically in the late Minter, as long as he is good to go. And he appears to be. Made 1 rehab outing after all that. So who do we send down? Cabrera again out of options. Austin Warren does have options. Unfortunately, it's probably that simple. Warren goes down. Minter comes back up. Clay Holmes will be back in 2 days, by the way, and he shouldn't need a rehab assignment. It was not that big of an injury. Minter will be our setup man, which is good. Now we got 2 lefties in the bullpen. We have Tyler McGill on the mound going up against Osvaldo Bido of the A's. Trying to get some momentum here. A horrific start to the season, unfortunately. As it looks like, we win 3-2. That's good to see. Paul Blackburn is ready to come back from the injury list, so we are quickly getting healthy. Again, Paul Blackburn, not a guy I really think is any good, but he might just have to come back just based on right now. We don't want to just get rid of assets for no reason. What happened here? The draft pool was released. These are real players, so I guess we can go through them. We're not going to be getting any of these guys, I don't think, considering we don't pick in the top 10. Let's go through a couple. Ethan Holiday is projected to be the first overall pick. Could be a really good hitter. Might play shortstop, if not third base. Jamie Arnold, a very good pitcher out of Florida State. That's all I'm going to go through right now. The game itself. Lindor, a RBI double in the first. Soto, a home run in the fourth. I believe that's his first as a New York Met. Winker, a single in the sixth. Pitching, good day. McGill, only 2 runs in 5 2/3. Reed Garrett, 2 1/3 scoreless, and Diaz with a scoreless 9th for the save. So we win 3-2. And check the waiver wire before this series to see if anything interesting is going on there. We got some relievers, it looks like. Brent Honeywell Jr. Has got no stuff at all on the Dodgers. Tyler Phillips, same thing. Tanner Rainey on the Pirates, making $1.5 million. No, thank you. And Jose Ruiz, we're going to pass on that. So with Blackburn, I guess we can just put him on a rehab assignment. He did have quite a tough injury, 2 injuries, I believe, actually going back to last year. And we will, if there's a need, call him up. Tomorrow, Clay Holmes will come back, so that's good to see. But for now, Griffin Canning will start for the Mets. We win 6, and then I guess the A's will eventually tie the game. And in the 10th, Lindor, a run-scoring triple against Mason Miller. So that is definitely a nice thing to see. Canning, 4 runs and 6 in the third. He has blue to save, so it looks like he allowed some inherited runners to score. Minter, a scoreless inning in his Mets debut. And Diaz with the save. Lindor is your player of the game. He went 4 for 4, so that's great to see. Our inbox is a scouting report, 16-year-old. Nothing really crazy going on there. So Clay Holmes will essentially just replace Max Kranick on the roster. He only made 2 starts and had 1 good one, 1 bad one. He will go down to Syracuse. Clay Holmes is back and will likely start today for us. Or no, Senga will. He is ready to pitch on regular rest. And in this game, actually, the amount of days off for a pitcher doesn't really matter. As far as like in real life, Senga usually pitches every 6th day. In this game, it doesn't make a difference. Maybe it's something they could change in the future, but we're not gonna do that. That'll just be too much work, and we don't even have to. So we look to sweep the A's, looking to get Senga. Not a good start, it looks like. He got roughed up 5 runs and 4 in the third. Cabrera, 3 runs in an inning in the third. His days might be numbered. Toe, 2 in the third, scoreless. But couldn't get much going offensively, and the pitching didn't give us a chance. So we settled for the series win, first series win of the year. Going into the Twins series, pitching wise on the waiver wire. Kyle Hendricks not gonna be anything interesting. Mark Leiter got some good stuff, but is on an expiring contract, making $2 million, and I don't believe anything else is worthwhile. Were there any hitters? Just Gary Sanchez making $8 million. Geez, on the Orioles, that was way too much for Gary Sanchez. So now we have Clay Holmes on the mound going up against Pablo Lopez in Minnesota. And we lose 10-7. So things aren't clicking right now. Brett Beatty, a 2-run homer in the 4th against Pablo Lopez. And also Francisco Alvarez. Oh, no, sorry. Different Alvarez. Who is this? Armando Alvarez hit a home run against Ryan Stanek. Of course, Francisco Alvarez is not healthy yet. Clay Holmes, only 2 earned runs in 4 and a third. Brazoban got and so did Stanek. So another uneven game for us. Brazoban, Cabrera, and Stanek are tired, but we still have 5 available relievers today, so no need to make a move. So we simulate another day. David Peterson going up against Bailey Ober. We win 7-1. So finally, a good showing for both the offense and the pitching. Lindor hit a home run, Soto hit a home run, and the bases clearing triple. So that is good to see. Peterson only 4 2/3 with 1 run. Francis Cabrera 3 scoreless. Reed Garrett the final inning in the 3rd. We look to win a rubber match tomorrow with Tyler McGill on the mound against Chris Paddock, closing out our road trip. And we lose 4-1. Let's see what happened here. The only run, a Juan Soto home run. We only had 5 hits. Soto had 2 of them. McGill, 4 2/3 scoreless. Buto, 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Brazoban allowed another run. Garrett, a final 2 scoreless. But we lose another series. This time to the Twins. Only 6-12 on the season. New series, so let's check the waiver wire. Enrique Hernandez, Sam Hilliard, Jake Bowers. Sam Hilliard could be an interesting left-handed bat, making $1 million in arbitration. Corner outfielder, better against righties. I don't think there's a need right now for that. And so I don't think we're going to do that. Jake Bowers, Same thing. Good power, good eye. He's probably out of options as well. Yep. Um, Very good against righties. But again, we have some guys like that. Winker, Jared Young. I just don't think there is a need for that. We might just make a move here. Only 4 healthy relievers. I'd say 3 is something that 3 or less, we definitely need to make a move. 4 is, I think, enough, but given Brazoban's struggles and he has options, maybe we can make a move ahead of this Cardinals series. Let's see, on the 40-man, obviously Blackburn is going to have to eventually come off his rehab assignment. We have Brandon Waddell, we have Austin Warren, we have Tyler Zuber. Is it just going to be Blackburn? He has still 25 days left of a possible rehab assignment. So I guess it's not going to be him yet. I don't want to do that yet. Let's send down Brazoban and call up Tyler Zuber for now. Yeah, just for a fresh arm. All right, Griffin Canning going up against Andre Palante, which weirdly happened on this exact day. Hopefully we can do that in this game, but we don't. We lose 6-5. We had a 4-0 lead. Gave it right up. Canning 5 runs in 5 innings. Stanek a run in 1 inning. Nunez 2 scoreless and Diaz a scoreless 9th. But Wilson Contreras looks like got us a little bit. A home run against Canning with a clutch play. He had another hit as well. So we lose the first game of this 4-game series, 6-5. Pitching staff again looking pretty tired. We have 3 healthy guys, which is good. I think we can make do with it. We got Senga on the mound. Let's see what happens. Going up against Miles Michaelis. And we win 2-1. So that's good to see. Our runs were a Vientos RBI single and a Winker RBI single, both in the 4th inning. Senga 6 innings, 1 run. Nunez, Minter, and Diaz combined for the last 3 innings. Nice, crisp victory for us. Only 1 error. It was Soto. But a nice win nonetheless. We have enough healthy relievers today. Clay Holmes going up against Sonny Gray. And we win 4-3. Brett Beatty, an RBI single in the 1st. Jesse Winker, an RBI walk. Vientos, a home run in the 6th. The pitching, Clay Holmes, 3 runs in 5 2/3. The bullpen shut it down from there. Buto, Cabrera, and Minter with the save as Diaz was unavailable. We look to win this the series 3 out of 4 with David Pearson on the mound against Eric Fetty on a Sunday. And we don't. So we settle for the split. Juan Soto, 1 player of the week. 10 for 23 with 4 homers. He was off to a slow start, so that definitely helps. What happened in the game? Obviously, Soto is going to have a good game. Siri, a home run. Mason Wynn, a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning against David Peterson, who ended up going 5 1/3 with 4 runs. Garrett, Cabrera, and Nunez, no runs the rest of the way, but it was not enough. We lose 4-3. Just like overall, I would say as we look at our team, definitely our starting pitching is probably our weakness. Bullpen has been, I think, pretty good so far, minus a couple guys. Lineups, I think we'll figure it out. But if we have to make a move, we will. But yeah, starting pitching is definitely probably the concern at the moment. Again, only less than a month into the season. We're not going to be drawing too many conclusions. But another thing I want to make sure we remember to do is just monitor our prospects, specifically the guys in AAA, where we have some nice pitching prospects. Brandon Sproat, not off to a great start in AAA, but I am not too concerned. Same with Blake Tidwell. Um, yeah, this is some uneven starts for this season. There's no, I wouldn't say that there's a rush to call him up, even though it would be nice at some point to have one or two of these guys up here. And Jordan Wicks, the guy we acquired from the Cubs, and looks like one good start and one really bad start. All right, new series. So let's just check the waiver wire. Chris Stratton, Yuli Gurriel, Alexander Connor Falefa. Nothing going on there. Tyler McGill against Ranger Suarez of the Phillies. Big division game here. Still trying to right the ship a little bit. Would be nice to end April at least close to 500, although that's not looking like it's going to happen. We lose 6-1. McGill and Zuber, not too good. Other than that, Garrett allowed a run, I think, for the first time this year. Yeah, the only RBI was from Tyrone Taylor. Looks like Ronnie Mauricio, I think, is rehab is over. I probably just going to keep him in the minors. He has an option. Not ready to make a move off our major league team yet. I might just have to call him up just to send him down. We can probably do that by optioning Zuber. He was tired anyway. Mauricio comes up, and then we'll be immediately sent to the minors. And we have to call another pitcher. Let's look at the 40-man right now. Brennan Waddell was actually in Double-A, is a possibility. Warren is tired himself. Don't really want to call up one of the starters. And if I want to stay consistent with the idea of a pitcher has to stay in the minors for 15 days with an injury, I don't think I'm going to be able to call up Brazaban. Trying to figure out what was that day I sent him down. It was definitely a week ago, if not less. Let's just try to find it in our transaction logs. It was last Thursday. When did we option Warren? Not that we were going to call him up anyway. It was, what day is this? Friday the 11th. Also not 15 days yet. So we could call someone up, select someone who is not on the 40-man roster right now. The guy who I think is most likely is either Sean Reed-Foley or Danny Young. Let's check on Sean Reed-Foley for a second. Still has some good stuff. Not going to look too much into the stats. Danny Young, same thing. That would give us 3 lefties, actually. So, again, both guys out of options. Going to go with Sean Reed-Foley, I think. He will be our 8th reliever for the time being. So he will be placed on the 40-man roster as well as the active roster. There we go. So, second game of the series. Griffin Canning on the mound against Christopher Sanchez. We win in big fashion, 13-2. An 8-run first inning. Marte a home run. Acuna a home run. Soto a home run. Sanger a home run. We have 4 home runs in 1 inning. I mean, geez. Wow. Big offensive day. And Siri had one in the 6th. Canning, 6 innings, 2 runs. Cabrera, Reed-Foley, and Buto did the rest of the work. Soto, the player of the game again. Christopher Sanchez only got 1 out. Wow. So we look to win the rubber match. Corey Senga on the mound against Jesus Luzardo. Just trying to gain some momentum here. as April quickly comes to an end. We win 8-6, so it looks like we used a lot of relievers in this game. Let's see what happened. The key plays of Vientos, a basic clearing double in the 7th against Jose Alvarado. Winker, a 2-run homer in the 7th as well. Big offensive day for both teams. Pitching-wise, probably not going to be that good. Senga, 6 runs and 3 1/3. But the bullpen, inning and 2/3, scoreless out of Stanek, 3 scoreless out of Nunez, and a scoreless 9 from Diaz for the save. Kodai Senga, injured while pitching. A mild hamstring strain, not the worst thing. Only influences his running. Should be good to go for his next start, I would say. Could place him on the IL as a precaution, but it's not an arm injury, and I don't think it'd be worth it. So we have an off day today, so thankfully that'll give our bullpen a rest, which is very tired at the moment. We're 10-15 going into a 4-game series in Washington. There we go. And Jeff McNeil, eligible to come back off the IL. Of course, this is actually the day he came back in real life. Probably we're going to do a week-long rehab assignment. He'll be ready for probably our trip to St. Louis next week, I think. Just want to get him some reps before coming straight back to the majors. Also, will give us some time to evaluate our players 1 month in. Again, even 1 month in, I don't think is even particularly a fair evaluation, but you might have to just to see who McNeil might have to replace on the roster. New series, let's check the waiver wire. No pitchers, 1 hitter, Cooper Hummel. I believe he can catch a little bit. Good eye, some gap power, but nothing really else that stands out of options. All right. We will have Clay Holmes on the mound going up against Mackenzie Gore. Still trying to gain some momentum here. Division rival in the Nationals. We lose 9-1. So all the good wiped away. Not a good start out of out of Holmes. 6 innings, 6 runs. Cabrera, 3 runs. Garrett and Buto scoreless innings. Offensively, only RBI. There were no RBI, so we got that run based on double play or something interesting. That's not a run batted in. So we lose game 1 to the Nationals. David Peterson will go up against Cade Cavalli. We win 5-3. Good win there. Pitching wise, Pearson only 1 earned run in 7 innings. Minter and Diaz the final 2 innings. The key plays: Soto reached on an error in the first. Siri a 2-run single in the first. We had 4 runs in the first innings. That was all we needed. 2 hits by Beatty. Tyler McGill will go up against Mitchell Parker on Sunday. I always love drawing the parallels. This is really the only year you can do it because the schedule matches what happens in real life. And we win 4-2. So another good showing out of the pitching staff, it looks like. Sierra a home run, Acuna a home run. Those look to be our only runs batted in. Soto had 1 RBI as well. McGill, 5 innings, 1 run. Reed Foley, 1 run in 2 1/3 innings. And then Minter and Diaz, so they're looking good to start. Let's win the series. Let's win the series. End April on a strong note. We'll have 1 more series we play in this episode against the Diamondbacks after this game. We have Griffin Canning on the mound, and we win 10-3. So a nice series in Washington. Lindor, 1 scoring double. Beatty, a bases clearing double. Alonso, a 2-run homer. 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Stanek allowed a run. Nunez, an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Cabrera finished off the game. We win 10-3. New series, home against the Diamondbacks. A quick 3-game homestand before we head off to St. Louis. Jackson Stevens on the waiver wire. Nothing going on hittering wise. Willie Castro, a good utility player, but he was claimed by the White Sox. So even if we tried, we would not get him. Just to show you what that looks like. our claim was rejected. All right, so Senga on the mound against Eduardo. Big matchup in the National League, and we lose 7-0, and Senga is injured again. This time, diagnosis pending. He has a leg injury, so guess maybe we should have been more careful with Senga. We'll see what happens. Usually when that happens, it's not a good thing, but we'll see what happens. So Senga only ended up going 3 1/3, 3 runs. Cabrera allowed 2 runs. Budo and Garrett did well. Siri was also injured. Mild calf strain out for 1 day. So there is nothing wrong with him. But there might be something wrong with Senga. We will have to monitor that. We got shut out. Nothing else to say there. Now we have Clay Holmes against Merrill Kelly. We lose 2-0. Senga only has some hamstring soreness to keep him out 5 days. So that we avoid the worst there. Luckily, it wasn't a strain. Here's the update. We're shut out for the second straight day. Not really a good showing. Once again, Clay Holmes, who did have a good start. Bullpen pitched well. Merrill Kelly and company shut us down, though. Alrighty, so let's just finale of the series. We look to salvage it. We definitely need to make a move, though. We only have 3 healthy relievers, or not healthy, 3 available relievers, I'd say. I mean, they can pitch. They're only slightly tired. And I wouldn't say there's a particular guy who I want to send down right now. I mean, I have to DFA Sean McFoley, which I don't think I'm ready to do that. So we might just have to have a bullpen day where we might have to use some guys we don't want to. Don't love doing that on the first day of May, but we still have 3, and they're 3 of our top guys. Pearson on the mound. Let's just simulate it. We win 7-0. So at least we're able to salvage the finale of that series. Alonso a home run. Vientos a grand slam. Pearson 7 2/3 scoreless, followed by Reed Garrett for the rest of the game. On May 2nd, we are 14-18, so not a great start to the season. But again, it's still early, and I really don't have too many major concerns. So that's going to do it for this episode of our Out of the Park Baseball series. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.